There's this man that I have a lot of respect for, Jordan Peterson. You know who he is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For those who don't know, who is George Peterson? Tell us who he is.
He's a professor that first he became famous for fighting for freedom of speech because the government was trying
From
to tell us.
From Canada, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And now he then started helping young men, kind of like being a voice, a father figure to many young men.
Helping them do what?
Just take responsibility for their own lives, what the parents didn't tell them to do.
Right.
Clean up
Something
your
so
room,
simple, huh?
those kind of things.
Yeah.
And I just heard that he admitted himself into rehab.
Were you shocked by that?
Well, I was happy that he did that because he takes responsibility for his actions. I heard that his wife has cancer and they have a lot of difficulties. And the drug that he was taking is very nasty.
Right.
And very hard to come off of. So I think physically he had to go to rehab to get off this drug.
Did you know he had been taking antidepressant medication all along?
No.
No. So
But I was surprised. I was surprised. Yes.
You were not shocked when you saw, I saw a video of his daughter. He has a daughter who did this video about him committing himself to a crazy house.
Yeah.
Is it a crazy house?
No, I think it's more rehab. So it's more to take yourself off
What's
the
the
drug.
difference between a rehab and a crazy house?
So let's say you act crazy and they can send you to a crazy house. You're not taking any medication.
Oh,
And you might be taking medication and then they send you to rehab to get off the medication.
what a mess. That's why you should let no man be your leader, because if that man should stumble and fall, you would do the same thing, because your faith would be in him and not in God. How old are you?
So I'm 28.
Okay, how do you know him?
I know him, I think some random YouTube videos came up at first, but then I found his biblical series where he talks about basically God and how it makes a lot of sense.
Right.
And I hadn't heard someone make sense of religion at all before. So that was pretty cool. I think YouTube recommended you to me through him.
Right.
Maybe because of the last name.
Right.
But I think Jordan Peterson's a really, really cool person.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I just heard about it right now.
Oh,
I'm
right now?
surprised I'm surprised to hear.
Oh, you are?
Although he is a psychologist, so I'm not too surprised.
So would a psychologist be on antidepressant medication?
It seems like they are.
Well, how are they going to
Doing
cite
their own
someone
drugs.
else's colleges if they're on medication?
Besides somebody else's colleges.
Sorry, say it again?
If the psychologist is on medication, how is he going to cite somebody else's collegist?
That's a good question. Although, for the most part, everything he says makes a lot of sense.
Right.
He kind of speaks like you do, where it's just,
Yeah,
just
I
logic.
had him on the show. You're right about it. I like the guy. I really do like the
Yeah.
guy. I was stunned though that he was on. That he had to check himself into a hospital for drugs.
Yeah, he has some health condition. His daughter does too.
Yeah, they all crazy.
They all have like depression.
Yeah, the whole family messed up.
Yeah.
And
So,
what
I
does
don't know.
that say to you? Because the daughter was saying that her father looked like a sad puppy. Can you imagine your daughter being online saying, "Oh, and this guy's a professional, everybody knows him."
She shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, she said he checked in. It's so sad, blah blah blah, whatever. And he looked like a sad puppy. That's what the daughter said. And she said that when her mother, apparently her mother had cancer or something, and when her mother went into the hospital, she couldn't handle it, the daughter, that her period wouldn't even come on. She wouldn't let her period come on until the mother was okay. Did you hear that?
No,
It was interesting. I'm like, how do you stop a period?
I don't know.
You know what a period is?
Yes.
You would know that. Yeah. But so, are you disappointed to hear this?
I'm really not. I've seen a ton of Jordan Peterson's videos, and they're really good.
Yeah.
Just really helpful.
So
a lot of it is like you speak. It's just stuff people already know, but they haven't really put the words to.
Right.
And that's
right.
I like that kind of thing where you realize that it's true while
That's
you're listening
right.
to it.
That's the best way to go.
Yeah.
Not let someone else teach you, but you realize what they're saying is true.
Yeah.
I like that.
I do see the difference of him being more intellectual in what he speaks about.
Right.
And you can see that the emotion runs very high inside of him.
Yeah.
It still has that anger or emotional side, I think.
Oh, okay.
And I think what I see is that he came into fame fast, strong, and had a lot to deal with and wasn't ready for that in that sense, emotionally.
It's a very interesting video that his daughter put out. I watched it twice. It's so interesting. So make sure you check it out. It's online somewhere. This is so interesting, this thing about everybody being on drugs and the situation with Jordan Peterson. And again, I like the guy. You know, I had him on the show several times. I like the fact that he stand up and fight back. He's gone through a lot. He was a professor at one of the universities in Canada, I think. And he's more conservative type of guy, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah? Oh, okay. And so he has really been on an attack with a lot of folks.
Wasn't his wife going through some severe illness and he was depressed because of the severe illness?
The daughter said I didn't even know the man had a wife, to be honest. I didn't know he had a daughter until yesterday when I saw the video. But she said that apparently the mother developed cancer or something.
Right.
And that was really hard on him as well as her, the daughter. And so it was really hard on him. And as a result, the psychiatrist or psychologist or somebody recommended that he take those antidepressant things
Right.
so that he could deal with that situation.
So when he heard the bad news, he relied on a drug to
Yeah.
try to help him out of the bad news. And when
Right.
he tried to get off of it, he said, okay, this is a little harder than I thought. Maybe I better quickly go check myself in and get some professional help because it's pretty powerful.
It sounds like he's been on it for a while.
Don't know.
And the girl, somebody told me he was taking other antidepressant stuff, right, James?
In the past, he had.
Right. But this particular one is stronger. Once the wife developed the cancer thing or whatever she had, it was more serious. He kind of freaked out over that. And so they recommended a stronger one. And he became addicted to that. Yeah. What do you think about that?
I think he's a human being.
He's a human being, and what does that mean?
He is a being.
Is that normal for a human being to get on medication like that if he can't handle things?
Yes, it's normal.
Oh, it's
Is
normal.
it good? Probably not.
But normal.
Yes.
What's normal about it?
A large percentage of people do it.
And that's what makes it normal?
Yes,
Oh, okay. Would you do something like that?
I could.
You could. Oh, amazing. How about you, Esteban? What do you think? You know this guy. What do you think about it?
Well, I think it's kind of weird because, like, I used to listen to his videos, you know, watch him, and he seemed pretty smart. Like, he had everything together. Like, he knew how to handle, like, different things, you know, situations. But, like, now I think about it, like, let's say, like, I follow this guy and I do what he says. Like, I'm afraid I'm going to end up, you know, where he is.
You're going to end up on antidepressant medication and checking yourself into a psych ward.
Right, if I follow, you know, what he says, because, like, that's where he
Does
ended
he
up.
recommend those things, the pills? He does recommend it? He said yes? He recommended it?
I'm not sure about.
And so you say he recommend you take antidepressant stuff?
Yeah, several
You
times.
heard him say that?
Absolutely. In fact, even in his book, 12 Rules for Life, there's several sections where he's pretty much advocating and saying, if you need it, this is, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
His daughter said he looked like a sad puppy. What would happen if your daughter went online and said, my dad looked like a guy who's helping the world, right? I like the guy himself. I don't know a lot about him as you guys do. I just know he was recommended for my radio show. We had him on, and I enjoyed talking to him. And I've seen him on Fox News or something like that. What would you do if your daughter said, my dad looked like a sad puppy?
I'd come to you and figure out how to change that.
I mean, this is the last
That
time
would
I
ruin me.
got your puppy.
That would ruin me if,
I know that's awful for a daughter to
awful.
see a daddy that way. No wonder she's tripping too.
yeah.
Because she said that she's taking some type of anti-medication, but his are a little stronger than hers. And the one she's taking is hard to overcome as well. The daughter
Yeah,
said that.
no, it's amazing to see someone who has this much power over people fall apart. And
Yeah.
to see the truth
I
behind
bet
it
it is
all.
interesting, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, no one's perfect, and there are some valuable things. He was the reason I started on this path.
Right.
But then I quickly moved on, and I guess I can't
Well, make sure you
fault him for that.
wish him well.
Me too.
Yeah. Is it normal for human beings to take antidepressant stuff?
I think it's been normalized. It's been normalized, but
It's been
not,
normalized.
yes, but it's not normal.
Meaning that they have convinced the people it is normal?
Yeah, through Hollywood, through academia, through the media, yes, it's normalized.
Why do people who are on these medications, why do they take that? Why do they think it's okay to do it? What is causing them to need it?
I think it's all the stuff you talk about, the broken homes, adding up and stacking up with all the other lies.
You say you don't think it's normal for human beings to take this?
No, I don't think it's normal.
And why not?
It's a drug, and I don't think it's normal for anybody to be on any kind of drugs.
But how should people deal with mental illness if not the drugs?
They should go and forgive their parents, drop the anger,
Yeah, that's right.
turn back to God.
Good
Yeah.
point. So James, what did his wife say about him? How she had to help him with his engagements? Because I heard her say it too. I just don't remember word for word.
So in that daughter's video, she puts her mother on, his wife, Jordan's wife, and so the wife said, I've had to tour with him, make sure he's well fed, listen to what he's saying, and try to help him clarify, make it clear for the people. So she listens to what he says and gives him feedback on what he's saying and how he's saying it.
That's an amazing statement. Is he a Christian?
I don't know if he's a Christian or not.
Is he a Christian? Anybody know?
He says that he is.
He says that he is? Oh, okay.
He said that he really believes in science. So I think that's where the contradiction is.
Oh, he really believes in science?
Yeah, like evolution and the drugs from scientific point of view.
Oh, okay.
I think that's where the
All
contradiction
right.
is.
This girl said that they eventually took the mother liver or kidney, the whole thing out, or something happened. So she doesn't have one now.
What?
Her liver or something, they had to remove it. That's what it said about Jordan Peterson's wife, because she was having all her issues too. So I guess Jordan Peterson is dealing with that as well, his wife falling apart. Let me just say, the reason I ask this is because our battle is a spiritual battle. It is clearly and I'm not telling you to don't go to the doctor and get your drugs if you want them, right? But our battle is a spiritual battle. It's a warfare between good and evil. We wrestle not against flesh and blood at all, but against spirits and principalities and wickedness in high places. And so I notice what happens is if you don't know this, and don't realize what you're dealing with, you're going to freak out when things happen. Jordan Peterson is a good example, and I don't know all his business, but I do know this. The head, which is the man, right? He's the head of his wife and his children, right? But if the head is weak and tripping out, everybody else under him would be tripping out too. So I'm looking at this video. One reason it's so interesting, I'm looking at the video and you see the father look all weak and out of it and just, they show him, she showed him. I want to let my daughter show me online like that though. But she showed him and he just looked out of it. But likewise, the daughter is out of it. And the mother is out of it. But if the father was the head of his family as Christ is the head of him, the family would be healthy. The wife and kids would not be on medication. They would not be tripping in this way because the father would not be on medication. He would be operating from love. And so it's important that you men realize that you got to come to order so you can protect your wife and children from the suggestions of Satan. Because when they hate the father, they're going to love Satan. They can't help but listen to him. Really. It's a spiritual thing.
In what way do you think like money, wealth, celebrity contributed to Jordan Peterson's issue currently?
I don't know, to be honest. When I heard about why he had taken the pill. But the first thing I realized is that it sounded as though, I don't know, I wasn't there, but it sounded like he overreacted to his wife's condition. You know, he found out that apparently the wife was traveling with him, and she said she was helping him to figure out what to tell the folks or whatever, right? And so now you find out your wife had cancer. Satan used that right away. And the moment you believe it, you become emotional, and now you're tripping out, and now you have to take the pills.
Okay, so what made him vulnerable to that, to hearing Satan's voice? Because he sounded really solid and strong.
Not being
in his
born
younger
again.
years. Okay.
Nobody telling you it's a spiritual problem. Satan talked to you in your head. And when Satan gives you something, this is why it's not good to be emotional. Really. It's best to be logical. Because when your wife gets cancer and you hear about it, you're not going to freak out. And then you see what to do. And that's the best kind of love to have for her in the situation, right? You won't freak out, so that way you don't end up on medication. So you'll see what to do. Take her to the doctor or whatever, right? But if you freak out the moment you hear, he got you. Now your whole system is messed up. And the doctor tells you need medication to deal with it. Now you're hooked on the medication, and just one thing leads to another. But you're not supposed to freak out in any given situation.
But did you just say logic, like he needed to remain logical?
Yes.
When the news came? Because he seemed very logical in his early years.
What seemed in that way and having it are two different stories. Because once you become logical, the grace of God kind of puts you on solid ground. So when situations come, you see them, but you're not overreacting to them. Even when you wake up, Satan is still trying to talk to you to make you overreact to something, but you recognize his voice and you won't give in to the voice. Because you can't be in and out of logic. Once you're born again, you become logical and you grow from that. It doesn't switch. You don't go in and out of it.
So you can be too logical, right? Because you keep knocking
Only
college-educated women.
only logic comes from God. It can't come from the world.
So not the academic logic.
They
that
don't
you see
have
at
it at all.
universities.
No such thing as
Lawyers,
academic
academics.
logic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying that logic has to come from one source?
It only comes from God.
Gotcha.
Yeah, only come from God. The world, they don't have logic. That's why you have to die from the intellect. And what they do is feed the intellect all the time. They're always feeding it so that they can control you, but you're subject to evil when you feed the intellect. Look how many young people who've gone to college, they come out nutcases.
I hear you.
Drug addicts, and alcoholics, and,
Yep.
and more, they're sleeping around and all kind of mess. But they got the knowledge, they just lost the character, they lost the foundation.
So that's also a trick as well.
Yeah, there's
That
no
logic has two
logic
sides.
in the Old Testament. The world don't have it. They just don't have it. They may have degrees up the yin yang, but they don't have logic. I'm thinking that this is what happened with Jordan Peterson. It sounded like he was out there working, his wife working with him, and then they find out that she has cancer, whatever she had. His first thing was to freak out. Is not to freak out. When you freak out, that's not a sign that you love your wife or your husband. That's a sign of weakness. It's a sign of lack of faith. Because just think about it. Not freaking out, it's just, when you freak out, there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. The woman still got cancer, right? But if you don't freak out, you will see the right thing to do. And it will make her feel better too, because she sees that her husband is calm and patient through it and doing the right thing. That will encourage her to feel better about it, because he's not freaking out. It's like sitting in a meeting and you start about to cry about a situation. You're about to cry, but you're doing fine, right? And the person next to you start patting you on the back. Don't you like just boo-hoo? You just start boo-hooing, because that's false love. That's not love. That's a fake love. In all things, we should be calm and patient through all things so that we can overcome. Then you see that the person loves you, because they're not reacting, they're doing the right thing, and you're fine. All right? So it's the mind thing. That's why I encourage you to overcome the anger. You must forgive. But you can also go out there in the world and let them feed you medication, let them call yourself schizophrenic or whatever they call it. You can live a life of hell or heaven right here on earth. It's up to you, really. It's really up to you, because as adults, you're responsible for your repentance. No one can make you do it. It's up to you. Even God will let you take the medication. He will let you go to the mental ward. All of his, in the name of Jesus. When you drive through downtown and you see all those black people on drugs and alcohol and homeless and bombs on the road, everybody believe in Jesus. And I'm tested. I'm like, do you believe it? Are you a Christian? Yeah, I'm a Christian. Why are you on drugs? I don't know. But they know the Bible. They are Christian, they say, but they don't really believe in God. They believe about him. All right?